there was this wealthy man who was a great collector of art. And he collected art from all over the world because he had lots of money and was a great art collector. You name it, he had it. He had Picasso in his house, the Van Goghs, the Rembrandts, the Monets, you name it, the Romare Beardens, he had them all in his house. He and his son were great art collectors, and he took great pleasure in the fact that his son was just like his daddy. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. His son was also a great art collector, but one day war made its way to the nation, and the young man had to go off to war. He received a telegram saying that your son is missing in action. The old man who had already lost his wife, was a widow, had one son, feared the worst. And sure enough, not much time after that, the word came back from the battlefield, your son is dead. He lost his life while trying to save the life of one of his buddies. He was rushing him to a medic, and he lost his life on the battlefield. The old man was overcome with grief, felt like life was not what it used to be. His son was gone, all of this art surrounding him, but it did not provide for him the same joy, because the real joy of his life, his beloved son, was gone. Sure enough, one day, there was a knock at the door. He opened up the door, and standing before him was a young man dressed in his soldier's uniform. He said, "Sir, you don't know me, but I knew your son. Matter of fact, your son, I'm the one your son saved. And he lost his life saving my life." He said, "I can't give you anything to give you your son back. I can't bring your son back, but I brought all that I can bring." And he gave him this package, and the old man opened up the package. It was a portrait of his son. It was not a work of the artistic genius, but it resembled his son in striking detail. The old man took some comfort in that. He said, "Wow, no one has ever given me such a precious gift." And so he decided to hang the portrait in a very prominent place on his estate. He felt a little bit better. The months went on, and he just enjoyed looking at that portrait. But a few months later, the old man got sick and died. And there was an auction of all of the art in his estate. And folk came from all over the land in order to try to see if they could buy some of the great art. And the auctioneer said, "The auction has begun." He said, "The first thing I want to do is auction off this work of art," pulled out a portrait of the son, and said, "Anybody want to bid on this piece of art? Anybody? Will anybody take the son?" Nobody said anything, kept on saying, "Will anybody take the son? Is there $1,000? Nobody. If 500, will anybody take the son?" Nobody said anything. What about $100? Nobody would bid, because they were waiting on the Rembrandts, the Van Goghs, and the Picassos. And after a while, a friend of the family spoke up and said, "I'll tell you what, all I've got is $10 in my pocket. I don't mean to insult you, but will you take this $10? And so he said, "I've got $10. Is there $20? Nobody said a word. And so after a while, the auctioneer said, "Sold for $10. And the folk began to cheer. They began to cheer. They said, "Good. We're glad we got that piece of junk out of the way. Nobody wants to buy some old man's son. We came here for the Rembrandts. We came here for the Picassos and the Van Goghs and the auctioneer said, sorry, but the auction is over. Somebody said, what do you mean? The auction is over. There are millions of dollars worth of art in this place. How is the auction over? He said, you don't understand. The old man left clear instructions in his will. He said that the first thing we were to do was to auction off the son. And then he said that whoever will receive the son gets everything that belongs to the Father. We spend our lives searching for that which we think is important. We spend our lives chasing after that which we think really matters. I'm done this morning, but I just came to tell you that whoever receives the Son gets everything that belongs to the Father. And the Father owns the cattle upon 1,000 hills. My Father is rich in houses and in land. If you want healing, the Father has it. If you want salvation, the Father has it. If you need companionship, the Father has it. If you need abundant life, the Father has it. If you need joy, anybody know that the Father has it. If you need peace, the Father has it. And whoever has the Son gets everything. Everything